Hey everyone out there in Twitchlandia, it's time for some Symbaroum Eyes in the Dark. We've been off for a minute, but now we're back on the sunny shores of. Oh wait, hang on, that's the wrong one. That's closer to it. There we go. There we go. Some nice dark, moody magic in the air. So anyway, let's get around to cast and crew here in just a minute. But first, I want to talk to you about some sponsors. We have a couple of them here at WebDM. First of all is see, I said that I was waiting for Emma's nod. First off is Tabletop Loot. If you head on over to tabletoploot.com and use WebDM15, you can get 15% off all your dice, mugs, t-shirts, all that fun stuff. They're doing the good work out there. They're even printing like masks and stuff for the relief effort. And so they're good people. Next up is Dungeon Fog. Check them out, seriously. They have so many options for creating like maps with very intricate detail, dynamic lighting, forgot words for a second, and things like that. So check out Dungeon Fog. Do we have a code for Dungeon Fog, or was that just a one-time thing?
We do not have a code right now, I don't think.
Cool.
Pretty sure.
Awesome. Well, check out Dungeon Fog. It's pretty great. I've only messed around with it. I wanted to make a map for Symbaroum, but I'm lazy. Anyway, let's get around to cast and crew. That's not true. I've been busy. Let's get around to cast and crew, see how everybody's doing, and then we'll get into the game. Let's start off with you, Kiana. How are you tonight?
I am doing okay. As okay as we all can be, I guess, at this point. I'm on day 66 of quarantine, 67, something like that. But I'm excited to be back here and playing with y'all. Where I play Anoa, who is a sorceress, human, and has shit luck with rolling. That's all I can say.
I mean, that kind of covers it.
She's so close to being completely equipped again. It's bad.
Well, I wish you the best of luck.
Thanks.
That's all I'll say to that. Next up, how you doing tonight, Billy?
I am doing dandy. Been looking forward to this playing with this crew for a while. I love these bunch of silly goofs. But really looking forward to see what you've got in store for us. Have my notes open and ready. I have primed my dice using a magical concoction that I've made out of Frank's hot sauce, pepper, and beer to cleanse them of any bad luck, and wash them obviously afterwards. And I am ready to rock and roll.
Awesome. Emma, are you ready to rock and roll as well?
I am more. I'm ready to rock. I could be ready to roll. With a little bit of time, I could roll as well. I'm good. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to play Sweetums. I've spent the last 3 weeks, as those of you know me in real life, being nothing but cruel and anti-sweet the whole time, and I'm very ready to be sweet again, and be a sweet baby.
Oh,
Yes,
that's so sweet.
yeah.
Well, that's awesome. And last but not least, down in the blue light room, we have Greg. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, Pruitt. Have you ever farted in a quiet room? That's what it feels like when you mess up the cameras 3 seconds into and that was me, everybody. I've officially farted 3 seconds into the stream. I will attempt to make it better. I am playing Kiln the Changeling. That's all I got for right now. Onward and upward. Let's do it.
It's a good thing we're all wearing masks, or we should be anyway. Awesome. Well, it has been a minute since we have played, but to do the Cliff Notes version, the party was on a peace march. There was some trouble afoot. They had their eye on this one priest, and their suspicions proved accurate. They chased him east. He tried to make an escape via the river. Where to? Who knows? But he was taken. He was killed. And I'm not sure who did it, and I'm not sure if it was a grenade arrow, but Anyway, now the party is. Well, what is the party doing? As y'all are, y'all decided to head east as well, as many clues have led y'all in that direction, both from people you have interviewed, whether posthumously or while alive, or random fairies that have talked to you.
I mean, just headed that way probably as inconspicuously as possible, especially if we're on the trail for potentially something very dangerous, which I mean is just every pathway in Symbaroum. So
Pretty much. Now, heading east, Kiln, you know of trails to head that way fairly safely. There is also the river. How would y'all like to proceed in your travels as you head east? Would you like to stick to the forest and the trails, or would you like to try to ford head up river?
We don't have boats though, right? Because we sank the one that was being the dude was escaping on, right?
Exploded.
Yeah, it exploded. You do know that there are various villages along the river where perhaps you could procure one via nefarious or just rental property. But that is up to you. So how would y'all like to proceed? Perhaps debate amongst yourselves.
Quiet or quick? Quiet through the forest, quick through the water. They'll see us coming on the water.
Kiln, I have to tell you something.
Sure.
I'm scared of boats.
I guess we're walking then.
That sounds like a good idea comparatively.
Yeah, there's a lot less tipping involved. It's tippy.
Alrighty.
We could have spent like 15 minutes discussing the pluses and minuses, but thank you, Sweetums, for saving us 15 minutes of time.
I mean, I'll do it if you think it's for the best, but I think they're scary. And I don't like the fish inside the water either.
They need friends too.
I don't want to be their friends. They're the only things I don't want to be friends with.
The only things you don't want to be friends with?
Pretty much, mostly.
Well, I feel going through that. At least we can be quiet now, and we don't have to worry about going too fast.
Yeah, okay. I mean, if everyone's okay with that, then let's just do that.
as long as we're quick on our feet, we are trying to apprehend somebody who we're supposed to meet up with our now very dead friend.
Kiln, if you would be so kind as to lead the way.
Absolutely. I will walk in this direction.
Okay, Kiln starts heading east into the forest. So as Kiln is navigating, let me just ask this. As you proceed, which Kiln, you do know that 2 to 3 days, depending on your pace, east, there is a lake at the foot of the Ravens. You could get there by boat in less than a day, but you do know that is east. Other than that, in a few small villages, there's not much. As you head out, who is going to be navigating, and who is going to be on watch, basically, like keeping an eye out?
If you were to assign a stat to navigation, Pruitt, what would that be?
That would probably be cunning.
I would suggest that I be on lookout and somebody else be navigating.
I'll do my best to navigate.
Okay, so the brothers are working as a team. So yeah, if you could give me just a straight navigate kiln, if you could give me, because they're the woods here are the forest, even though it's the light Novikar, it is quite verdant, being so close to the water. So there's increased foliage. So your vigilant roll, excuse me, is going to be at a -2.
Okay. It is a failure.
Okay,
Everything's clear.
looks clear.
And which is the guiding roll?
It's going to be a cunning roll, and that's going to be made just with no modifier to test your wits and knowledge.
Success by 1.
Okay, so you pretty much keep everyone heading the right direction. For the most part, there are footpaths to travel, but in the times that there aren't, your knowledge of the woods, along with Kiln, managed to keep the party moving in the right way. What happens though, as you're traveling, maybe about a day and a half in, it's pretty uneventful. But Kiln, you're on lookout, but maybe you're distracted for one reason or another. And y'all come over a small little rise, and right below you is an interesting scene. You see what looks like a small group of fairies, and when I say fairies, like Kiln, you would know this, and anybody who knows any knowledge about elves. These are actual like spring elves. These are fairies. They're about 3.5, 4 feet tall. Usually don't see them in the bright Dovakar, but there is a small party of them, probably about 5 or 6, and they are surrounding a bear, like it looks like it's coming out from hibernation, and these fairies are all like surrounding it, the cave entrance, and they have bows drawn, and you can hear this bear like roaring. And y'all have literally just kind of come over a rise, and it looks like the bear's cave is like on the face of this rise below you, and kind of goes into the earth. So y'all just kind of have the high ground. So hopefully they don't try to jump over you. But what would y'all like to do as you come upon the scene?
Is it like a confrontation with? Oh, do we all see this, or is there somebody in particular?
Everybody, spring elves, fairies, circling a bear. They are below me.
Yeah.
Is the bear fighting them?
I can't tell, but we are all here now, so we can all engage in observation.
Yes, and as y'all look down, you can definitely see that the bear has one tiny little arrow sticking out of its shoulder from these fairies, and they're hurling, you would assume, insults. Do any of y'all speak the old speak, or like magical language or anything like that?
I don't recall.
I don't know if that's a thing.
Choosing. Yeah, I don't recall choosing. I mean, if they're dead, yes.
I speak dead. Well, none of them appear to be dead yet.
Would
But
that
it
be
looks like
something Mama Banny would have taught me?
I don't know. Give me a cunning roll at a -3.
I also have beast lore, if that helps at all here.
Okay. You can. I would say this, Kiln, with your beast lore, you can definitely tell that these fairies mean no good whatsoever. Like, this bear is obviously trying to defend its territory, but you would expect like a giant bear like to just rip apart some fairies. But they're just kind of in a loose ring about 50 feet away from the entrance here, and it's just kind of standing there and like trying to intimidate, but it's not coming after them.
I did it. I rolled under, right? It's a roll under system.
Yes,
I
it
rolled
is.
a 4.
Okay, well, you know that Mama Banny, she speaks many languages, and she talks to many creatures, and you've been around enough. Like, you catch a word or two here and there, and they're definitely like, they're taunting the bear. Like they're
Mm.
trying to get it to come out for some reason,
Mm.
but it isn't.
Oh, they are being cruel to this bear.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Sweetums announces. They want the bear to move. They're attacking the bear.
You're up to no good.
Yes.
I feel like that's a given with fairies.
It's unusual. It seems unusually cruel to me.
I mean, most know that fairies such as these are known for their like cruelty and pranks. But normally they like to engage in this like sneaking up on people, things like that, like just kind of openly taunting. It's a little off.
They're just fucking with this bear.
It seems that way.
Pruitt, natural predator for fairies, like humanoids or
humanoids. Yes, because it's really hard to catch a fairy, a spring elf. But B, there are many in the Ordo Magica who pay for ears, parts of fairies for magical concoctions and potions, things like that. So, yeah.
Okay, so any particular humanoid more than another, like elves or?
Oh no, I mean these are spring elves. So no, it's mostly humans that hunt these fairies. And
Okay.
it's a more recent trade, because normally they're being seen more often lately. Normally they stick to the dark Davokar.
Should we kill them? Should we talk to them? Should we avoid them?
If we choose to engage, I feel we should open with talking. I don't.
Yes,
Four
they
of us
deserve a
here.
talking too.
Yeah, we can't afford injuries or losses.
Should we just move around? Do we care enough about this bear to risk our own lives?
Perhaps the bear could help us. Or maybe there's something in the cave that they're after that would benefit us in some way. Or we can send them on their merry way with a little spook.
With a spook? Like a spook? Well, Sweetum says, these fairies have inflamed my sense of justice. And I think maybe we should do something. But like you, I do not want to risk injury. If we can spook them, I'd be all for that.
And it's at that moment you hear a fresh cry of pain from the bear down below, as it seems like another arrow has struck true.
Oh.
Well, I know I have a good idea of how we can endear ourselves to this bear if it chooses not to slay us on sight, but I could heal it from its wounds.
So we're just to walk up to this, engage in conversation. If it doesn't work out, you scare them.
Perhaps.
And to be clear, we're siding with the bear.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm inclined to not upset Sweetums. I don't want to live with that on my conscience.
God's forbid. But how many fairies are there? Pruitt, 10? You say 10?
No, there's 6.
That's
Still
not much
6
better.
fairies.
We shouldn't let Sweetums decide the situation. That's not a good idea in any circumstance.
Well, I mean,
by the way,
why
are y'all holding this conversation at a normal level, or are y'all trying to be quiet?
We're whispering.
Yes.
Okay,
Try to be quiet.
gotcha.
does anyone have any idea why the bear wouldn't attack them?
Maybe it's a kind bear.
How many bears have you met?
I mean, I've heard stories about several bears. I said hi to one once and it didn't acknowledge me.
All right. Are any one of us good at talking to strangers?
I'm good at sneaking by them.
Talking to strangers and talking to fairies are two very different things, but can certainly try.
For strategy's sake, we might want to try to position ourselves so we're not all in the same area. If it does get nasty, we could attack from all sides, and hopefully that will be enough to cause them to be concerned for their well-being and run off.
Again, if we are siding with the bear, a sneak attack on 6 fairies, we could likely kill 1 or 2 of them before they even know we're here. But if we are to talk to them on the bear's behalf, it shouldn't be me. I will go hide in a tree.
I will speak to the fair folk.
Whew. All right, I'm glad you volunteered, because I was about to volunteer and it would not have ended well.
No, I am very well aware.
I can help talk too if you want. I don't have any particular skill. I'm just willing to do it.
I think it's better perhaps if you help with the sneak attack.
Oh,
Nora in her head is like, if Sweetums goes in there, he's gonna get like manipulated as shit by these fairies.
it's true. It's true.
If I can, Pruitt, Kiln's gonna climb a tree, and he's going to basically have marksman and hunter's instinct trained on a target and bow out, arrow
Gotcha.
at the ready. But
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and give me a discreet for that.
excellent. Is there a little bit of shadow here?
I mean, there's enough from kind of the boughs of the trees. So you're making this at just no modifier whatsoever.
Okay, I do get a +1 for my shadow born. Does
Oh,
that
yes.
help?
Yeah, that would help here. Yes.
All right. +1 on top of whatever this lovely roll is. A success with a 3.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's one of those things where you scamper up there and maybe one of the other party members turns to say something to you and you're just already gone.
And I would like to use my witch sight on the fairies and the bear to sense any levels of corruption they might have.
Okay. Is there a role for that, or you just do
Nope.
that?
Well, as a free action, the character can make a discreet. I make a vigilant against their discreet.
Gotcha. Okay. So for the fairies, that's going to be at a -2. For the bear, nothing. Like no
I rolled a
modifier.
2, which is my
Okay.
vigilant is like a 15.
Yeah, you look down and you can see that the bear doesn't really have any corruption other than, I mean, sometimes natural beasts will touch upon something, but it's very minimal. So the bear's, its shadow is very normal for a natural animal, right? It's a little tired. Obviously, just woke up. Hey. The fairies, on the other hand, they have an odd tinge about them, their auras, that you've never seen before, but they all have it, and they have it in equal amounts, which is something that is odd. If you had to hazard a guess, you would guess that this was some kind of external, like, considering it is exactly the same on all 6 of them.
I'm going to squeeze some mind grapes up to my brother Kiln, and it looks like all the fairies have dealt with some sort of magical power that has given them all an equal amount of corruption.
Excellent.
And then I'll relay that information to Honora as well.
Well, this might be interesting. We've already seen the effects of one corrupting object. I wouldn't be shocked if there were more at play, especially as we get closer to the potential center of this all.
I think a safe place for me would be right down this overlook here. So if anything goes nasty, I can work my magic.
Pruitt, are they dressed the same or are they dressed differently? Does one of them have like a mushroom hat on or something, or like a?
They are all dressed in very similar coloring, not necessarily a uniform, but you would suspect like a tribe or a group. None of them has a special hat, although one of them he's kind of sitting at the back. He's not really doing any of the taunting. But you do notice that he has a couple of extra like little rings on his fingers. He's a little bit more finely accessorized than his counterparts.
Okay, if things go wrong, I'm going to be aiming at Johnny Depp, Spring Elf.
He's kind of sitting back, just kind of wavering with his hands up.
Fantastic.
Right, so shall
All right.
I attempt to talk to them?
All right. So are you just from this rise over them, or are you trying to approach on their level? What's
Approach
your...
on their level.
Okay.
Don't want to bring attention to, hey, look over here where there might be other people.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's gonna try to. Not
All right.
necessarily being quiet about it.
That was my next question. Okay. So as you approach, it looks like some of them hear you. Those of y'all watching, these little elves were just kind of hurling insults and occasionally shooting an arrow. But all of a sudden, one of them kind of makes, and they all kind of like turn and look to where Honora is approaching. A couple of them still have their bows trained on the bear. To just keep their eyes on it, but it looks like you see three of them, Kiln, anybody who's watching, you see three of them kind of swing their bows around to the direction that Honora is approaching, but they don't fire. They're just kind of like sitting there. A couple of them are like looking around, but Johnny Depp, he's in the back there, just like hands across his chest, like kind of looking like he has a look on his face like, well, what the hell is this now? So
Honora will step pretty clearly into view. Her hands are away from anything clearly seen, nothing in them.
Mm-hmm.
And feign surprise upon seeing them.
Okay.
Yeah. Pardon me, fair folk. I did not mean to interrupt.
And the couple closest to you kind of like look around. Their bows are still trained on you, but they're quick cat-like movements as they kind of turn around and look at what is the leader. And he's just like sitting there like looking at you, just like drumming his tiny little fingers on his arm. And in a very, very broken common, it sounds kind of like it sounds, from coming from his little tiny magical voice, it sounds like off key when he talks in common, like it's too delicate an instrument to speak such a rudimentary language.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, you go away, you don't need to be here. Shoo shoo.
Shoo shoo. Actually, I had business this way, and I'm curious, of course, what are you doing with this bear?
This bear owes us cubs. We come to collect.
Ooh.
Shoo shoo.
Shoo shoo. Oh God. Okay. Oh, this is. Kiana wants to do one thing, and Nora wants to do a whole other thing.
And he is somehow, even though he's only like I said, he's about 3.25 feet tall, but he's somehow like positioning his back and neck and head that he's looking down on you from like 1.5 feet below you, as if like,
Yeah. Really, Cubs? That's what all this fuss is about? I could hear it from all the way down there.
Mm-hmm. They make the best blankets.
Oh. Keep pushing Kiana's buttons here.
And the meat is sweet. And he barks something in kind of a lyrical musical language that they've been kind of yelling insults. And only one of the fairies keeps his bow on you. The others turn back on the bear.
No.
And they actually take a few steps closer to the bear.
And so you'll kill the bear to get the cubs. That's correct?
That is her choice. She made the deal.
Interesting deal that she would offer up her cubs for whatever it is.
She made. We ran off mountain lion that hurt her. She has cubs. She give them to us. That was deal. And you see, like, you can just see like there's a glint of something in his eye, like he's very proud of how that turned out.
Okay. Well, that seems quite the accomplishment.
Mm-hmm. We are fierce.
Clearly.
Keep that in mind. Shoo-shoo.
Keep shooing. I know I didn't move. Is the elf speaking loud enough that she would think the others can hear what's going on?
I mean, yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's more just like.
I mean, it's only like 50 feet, and you are about 30 feet away from him, so you're pretty sure they can hear him.
Okay, cool. Yeah, she just not having to do that. And I will repeat it loudly so you'll know what's going on.
You want to eat the bears? What?
Yeah. I just need to know if I need to do that or not.
No, you're pretty sure they can hear him.
Okay, cool. God, Endor really doesn't give a fuck about this. Except for Sweetums.
He has given you every opportunity to continue on your way.
She's gonna continue walking past, but very slowly. You know, she's not in any hurry, and in that way that kind of makes her stick close to what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. As you move, the one fairy who had his bow trained on you, he follows you. He never wavers from you as you move. The leader, you see him like not looking at you, but every now and again you see out of the corner of his eye him glancing as you're walking kind of around them. Like he's still keeping his eye on you, but he wants to make sure you know he doesn't care.
Oh yeah, of course. Inara doesn't want to make a deal with these people. I think she is going to pause in her walking.
Mm-hmm.
Again, in that kind of like, just looks casual, like she's just walking past, but as close to what's going on as possible.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't say anything, but you definitely hear, because when he was shooing, you could hear like his rings kind of clinking together. And so he doesn't say anything, but as you pause, you just hear a,
yeah,
as his little hand, oh my God, throw him rings across my desk. As he just kind of like does the motion with his hand one more time, but he doesn't deign to shoo you again. He just makes
Right, of course. Yeah, okay. Would you mind if I stayed and watched?
And at that, he like actually stops drumming and is like, "You stay and watch what?"
How this all goes down. I mean, this piqued my curiosity, and I don't interact with fair folk very often. And she kind of lifts up her hands a bit. Not like I can do anything about it, anyways.
At that, he actually pauses and he looks you up and down. He like sniffs at you. He's like, you smell of spells. Spells gone awry.
I think she like lifts up her cloak as if to keen senses. As you can probably guess, these types of doings are always intriguing. Getting to learn more.
Let me talk. And he turns, and like two of his innermost fairies, they turn to him and they commence in the TV version of
yeah.
And after a few sharp rebukes, he's like, if you stay, you help.
I
don't help, you leave.
How would you need my help, fair folk?
You have spells. And he points at the bear. Use them.
Oh, I think you mistake the type of spells that I have. Not very pointy.
If you stay, you help. Otherwise, shoo. At the hesitation, you hear him quietly mutter one word, and another of the fairies turns its bow on you.
Can I make an action here?
Yeah, I mean, y'all, at any point.
And the fun thing is, with the way I'm walking, not looking towards your direction anymore.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, where you're walking, basically, Honora has drawn the attention of three of the fairies, the leader and the two elves that are training their bows on her. You can definitely tell that two of the archers, the furthest from Honora, are intent on the bear. A third, he's kind of like, his bow's kind of pointed at the bear, but he's looking over his shoulder. He's really interested in what's going on because he's kind of close to the action, but he's not allowed to look at it. So only two of the fairies are even like looking in y'all's direction right now, really.
I might be able to pull this off in stealth, but I reread the spell. I thought I had to touch somebody to inherit wounds, but I don't have to. I can do it from range. So I would like to inherit the wounds of the bear, which was my high school band name.
Wounds of the bear?
Inheriting the wounds of the bear.
Oh, okay.
And we were all heavy set and wore black leather. Anyways. All right. So I think I just take 1d6.
Yeah. Your first album was called Hibernation. Yeah.
All right. So I inherit 3 damage from the bear.
Okay. So you inherit 3 damage from the bear. Give me a discreet roll.
Sure. That's a fail.
Okay. So as you cast this spell, your magic kind of moves out, and you see one of the arrows kind of work its way out of the bear and fall to the ground. And the bear actually was like, stops its roaring, is like, and like looks down. And then it kind of like gets a little bit more fierce. But you hear a cry of alert as one of the fairies on that side like looks up, and then he kind of goes "Ah!" and like points up to the top of the rise where you are, Billy.
Well, sorry guys.
And there is a cry of alarm. So
Nora is
everyone-
feigning surprise at this.
Okay,
Also alarmed.
okay. Give me a discreet roll.
A discreet?
Mm-hmm. To feign surprise, as if you are shocked by this turn of events.
Okay.
Can you hide behind your hands?
Gasp. That's a success with a 3.
Okay.
Oh, no, with a 10. Ha.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
the leader, he looks at, like, he hears the cry and like looks around, and then he looks at you, sees your reaction, and then turns his back on you.
Oh, great. Okay.
And he begins to bark orders. And 2 of the fairies are looks like they're about to move around each side of this little rise to like come up the back of the hillock to where y'all came. So we're going to do, let's do a quick initiative roll. And I want to try something new. Everybody just roll me a quick and tell me what you get.
I rolled a 9.
I rolled a 1.
Damn. All
I
right.
rolled a 19.
19. You almost
I
had
got
me.
a 9 as well, and that just matches my quick.
Okay. So, and then Unjala is at a 19. Whew. So Kiln goes first, followed by Honora and Sweetums at the same time. Then the fairies will go, and then Unjala. That makes kind of sense because Unjala, you just use an action, so this all kind of works out. Kiln, it is you, my brother. It looks like 2 fairies are about to move to flank around the hillock. The other 4 are still down below. 3 are still trained on the bear. The leader is like yelling orders and whatever, and Honora's standing about 15 feet behind the leader.
Are any of the ones that are flanking the hillock, are they blind to the, or can I see them, and can their brethren not see them? Are any of them hidden to the point where they're out of sight of the rest of the group?
They just started moving. The one on your right, he has a couple of trees in the way, so line of sight might be blocked. It's probably your best effort for that question, but not completely, you don't think.
Okay. Main group has 4.
Yep.
Can I, since I have the ability to do so here, I'm not going to move. Can I hold my action to see how bad shit gets on the ground before this is Kiln thinking. I need to wait before, because someone's going to likely die if I have to pick. It's a target rich environment, Pruitt, and I want to see where things get bad quickest, fastest.
Okay, yeah, you're holding your action till you see shit go wrong. Got it.
Yeah.
They still haven't seen you, so there's that. Honora and Sweetums, y'all get to go at the same time. I'll let you decide how you want to split that up.
Honora doesn't want to show her hand too fast. You know what you want to do, Emma?
I think I do. I think so. So I'm to bring it back for anybody who doesn't recall. Sweetums, here's the flimsy rationalization I have. Sweetums, as of last episode, can hurt people, but not intentionally. And so I'm wondering if, we're up on this ridge and there are people coming down, and he wants to get down to the ridge because he wants to protect the bear and the baby bears. I'm wondering if perhaps as he is tromping down this little hillock, if he falls down and runs into one of the fairies and rolls over them.
Okay. Well, you can try to run down one side of the hill. You know,
Yes.
it's not that far down. You could just jump down in front of the bear to where the four are below.
Okay.
That's up to you. I would say it's probably a greater chance of falling if you're already jumping down.
Yes.
But
Your chance of smush.
it's all in how you want to play it. But those are kind of your options. As you are just kind of at the top of this rise, you can either run around either side or just jump down.
I think it might be suitably surprising actually to have a gigantic fucking ogre
Yeah.
jump in front of a bear and
I
roar
agree.
at you.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree.
So that's
So
even if I fall down on my face, it's still quite surprising.
it most definitely is. So
Yeah.
I tell you what, I want you to give me this is gonna be this is a show of strength. So give me a strong roll as you jump down.
I made it by 2.
Okay.
Yes.
So basically you jump down. Are you bellowing?
Yeah.
Okay, you're
Full on
bellowing out a
bellowing.
roar, and you jump down and land like kind of about 10 feet in front of these fairies.
Okay. Yeah, I pretty
Um,
much just say baby bears. That's what I say.
That's amazing.
And the leader, his name's Johnny, he yells out, "They here for bears too!" I'm just going to yell that in common, even though it doesn't really make sense since he's yelling to his counterparts. But yes, you jump down and you actually, one of the fairies accidentally like pulls his bow back but too hard and like snaps the string because you just kind of freak him out.
Mm-hmm.
And you know the arrow goes careening off, but he like falls on his butt and is just like looking around. It looks like you've at least freaked one of the fairies out.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool. Success in my book.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right, Honora.
How distracted is everybody?
I mean, like absolutely none of the fairies are looking at you right now.
Cool. I think I want to try to use Bend Will then. Against. I think against the leader.
Okay, so you want to try to bend the leader as well?
Yes. So
All
that's
right.
a resolute to resolute check.
A resolute to resolute check. All right. So that is.
I rolled a 2.
Okay, so it doesn't matter what his resolute is. It wasn't that good. I'll tell you that. Yeah, you actually would have gotten a plus.
Cool. So it means that he only had 1 action each turn and cannot use any active abilities or powers until I break concentration or fail a test.
Okay. So are you controlling that action?
Yes. Yeah, so that's essentially what Ben Will does. Is that
okay. Yeah, so
prevent him, he can only do 1 action and he can't do any active abilities.
All right. It is their turn. So what do you have him do?
It's mostly just like
it just limits him?
A hindrance, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you see him like kind of like shaking his head a little bit, and you know, he just kind of yells out, he's like, "Attack!" And he just kind of yells that. He's like he had pulled out a bow, but he just yells for his fairies to attack. To which they do. Some of them are attacking the bear, some of them are attacking Unjala. It looks like some of them are going to be, one of them is going to be shooting Sweetums. So there's the scared one. It looks like 2 of them are going to be attacking you, Sweetums. So give me, I'm going to need 2 quick rolls, both of them at -2.
Fail. Pass.
Awesome. Are you okay? Well, then you're going to take 4 damage.
Okay.
unless you have armor or abilities to.
I've
off
got
that.
things. I have light armor.
Mhm.
How much does that do?
That does a D6, I believe, because you have mastered arms.
Okay.
But you
Yes,
also
I do.
have a D4 from your size, right? Because you took the size up there.
Yes, because I'm big.
Mhm.
So that's 2 from the size and 1 from armor. So yeah, I just take 1.
All right. So yeah, one. The very tip of the arrow manages to find a way between your boiled leather plates or whatever your leather armor or your light armor is.
Yeah.
And he, yells out in triumph that he struck a blow against the mighty ogre that cowed his friend. This is the leader. And they are currently that. Unjala, give me a roll. Yours is has no modifier because you're kind of up. You have higher ground and a little bit of cover from the ledge.
Making a quick.
Yeah, quick roll as an arrow comes sailing in at you.
I fail by 1.
All right. Well, it manages to strike you. You take 4 damage unless you have something to.
So cloth armor, if that's indicated as like a D4, do I get
It's
to
a
try
D4. Yeah.
Okay. So I get to try to reduce that.
Mm-hmm.
I reduce it by 1.
So you take 3 damage as a tiny little. I mean, they're about the normal size of arrows, maybe a few inches shorter than normal arrows. But yeah, you get struck, and looks like the bear takes another arrow as well, and lets out a mighty roar. Unjala, it is your turn.
So we have the 2 coming. I'm guessing I got shot by one of the flankers that are coming.
Yeah, you
up
got
the hill.
shot as you're looking down. The one on your right, so the fairy half circle formation, the leftmost fairy is the one that shot you.
Okay, now I want to cast a spell on the fairy that is furthest away from Kiln. So the one that's the fairy that's between Kiln and I want to leave alone, and I want to cast an adept level tormenting spirits on the other fairy.
Okay.
So that'll be resolute. Just a resolute check on my part. I don't think there's anything versus on his.
Oh, it's not a. There's no versus.
Yeah.
Does it say resolute dash something?
It does not. It's yeah, it does not.
Okay.
But I still have to pass the check.
All right.
Which I do. So the adept version is the same as the novice version, but it also takes 1d4 damage to its resolute. So do you want to roll that, or would you like me to?
Oh no, you go ahead and roll it. It's your spell.
1 damage.
Nice.
Killing it. Yeah.
All right.
And it also has like disadvantage on every check it tries to make.
Alrighty. Okay, so that is that. We're back to Kiln.
At the end of the round, I'd like to use.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna fire on the one that's closest to my brother. I'm gonna fire down on that one. I got 2 shots, each with advantage because of my crazy shit that I have.
Yeah, you have all the crazy shit.
Let's do it. Okay, so that was a 4 on the first one. I'm just gonna roll again just to see if I get something even doper.
Yeah, I mean they have a -3 on the attack on your attacks, but that obviously hits.
Yeah. So okay, would still get a hit, and then damage for this one is going to be D10 plus a D4. So the first is 9 damage, and then add 4 on top of that, 13.
Oh shit. Okay, so here's the deal. You knock the absolute crap out of him on the first on your first attack.
Can I add some flavor in here then, Pruitt?
Yes.
can I nail him to the blind side of a tree so no one can see where my shot came from? Like
Okay,
blow him
so
back into a tree and so his friends can't see him dead.
I will say yes, because here's the deal. When you go over their pain threshold, you can decide whether they're knocked down and it's hard for them to get up, or you can make an immediate free action against that same character. So what do you want? Because that might give you an extra attack.
Okay, this guy's dead though, right?
Well, the first arrow was 9 damage, so he's not quite dead, but you could get a free attack on that same guy because you hit him so hard.
It would have been 13 total damage.
Now he's dead.
Okay.
And you have another attack.
Okay, so he fires and nails him to that one.
Mhm.
He's
pinned cushion to a tree right now.
Okay, I'm gonna switch. I'm allowed to, now that I have an adept level with rapid fire. He moves over and fires at let's go with the one that is, I want to go with the cluster of there's the leader and the 2 other ones that are close to Honora, right? They're okay.
Yeah, that are kind of clustered up. Yes.
Okay, I want to fire at the non-Johnny Depp one first and see if I can't.
Okay.
Okay, so that's, I rolled a 5, and if it's anything on top of that, it's still gonna, okay.
Oh, it's a hit.
Yeah, damage will be this plus 4. So it's 8 plus, so it's 11 total with that shot.
Okay, and how does that one meet its fate?
Can I nail it to its friend? Because I still have another shot that I want to fire into that one too.
Yes, they're close enough.
You don't have to say yes. We can just.
You can nail him to the tree next to his friend.
Okay, good. There we go. All right, let me fire off this one. I rolled a 4, so that's also a success, and the damage is a 7 plus, where's my, darn it. So that's a 10 total on that one.
Okay, is that against a new target?
New target, yeah.
Okay, are you firing the other non-Johnny Depp in the cluster of 3?
Non-Johnny Depp, if possible. I'd like to nail those 2 guys together to maybe cast some deep thoughts into Johnny Depp's mind about the continuation of this course of action.
Okay, so here's the deal. In the span of mere seconds, 3 of the fairies are now pinned to trees like wanted posters. The remaining 2 living fairies, one of which is scared shitless by the ogre already, stand their ground. The dice don't lie. They do not run away. In fact, they let out a yip. Like seriously, all I had to roll was above a 6, and I rolled a 5 and a 4. And so yes, they look over and just like a look you've never seen on such a delicate little face of pure murder. It even shakes the one that was scared of you, Sweetums, shakes it out of its fear. And he looks like he's about to like throw his broken bow down and rip out his dagger and charge you. That's what it looks like. So it appears to have worked. You do notice though that Johnny Depp he just kind of has a glassy-eyed look where he's just kind of like sitting there. His arms aren't really crossed, but he's just kind of wavering a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. I hate to do this but it's at the top of the order, Pruitt. I'm going to fire again. I have advantage on the 4 shots that I have, so I'm not going to move. I miss on the first one. I'm firing at the one that's by Sweetums.
Oh, the one that's pulling their dagger out.
Yeah. Yes. So my second roll is a 9. I'll roll and see if I can get something better than that. A 4. Let's see. The damage is 5 plus 2, which is 7 on the one on Sweetums. Is that one down?
It is not down. but again, it is above its pain threshold, so it is severely hurt. So you can get a free attack on that.
I will shoot it again then.
Okay.
And that's a 9 damage. Do I need to roll the 4? Or
No, you just thunk, thunk, 2 arrows into that one, and he drops.
Okay. I have 1 shot left, but I'm going to hold. If you allow me to hold this one, I think we might want to talk to Johnny Depp. So I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't have to. I've already started.
Yeah, I mean, you've already done most of your attack actions, so
Okay.
you can either finish those out, or we move on.
All right,
but
let's just put 1 in Johnny Depp. Let's just give him something to think
Okay.
about.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a 9. Let me see what my advantage is if it's better. Okay, so I'll stick with the 9. Oh, that rolled my attack and not my damage. So it's a 9 damage plus the 10 total on Johnny Depp.
10 total. Okay, so what does this look like?
I know he's glassy-eyed, so Kiln takes no pleasure in this. This is just target practice at this point because they don't know he's there.
Yeah.
So which I mean, it's not honorable, but Kiln's not honorable. So he's just going to I don't know, just like take him in the shoulder. I know Kiln's arrows probably be like a spear, but he was trying not to hit for a kill shot.
I mean, I will, if you want, I will let you not be a kill shot if you don't want it to be.
Yeah, can I just nail him to something and keep him alive?
Yeah, you pin him to the ground. It hits him in the shoulder, knocks him over, and you can tell the arrow's about halfway buried in the ground.
Okay. Yeah, we could talk to him while he was dead, but let's keep him alive. Let's see if his story changes.
Ask him alive, then you kill him, and then ask him dead, and see.
That's by the way, that's what my son came up with one time when we were playing D&D. He was like, you know what? We can ask you the questions now, and then when you die, the cleric here can ask you again. We'll compare them. My son, everybody. Yeah, so just nailing.
All right. So right now there is one fairy left, who is seriously questioning his life choices at this point, as he looks around at his friends who are littered with arrows. It is Honora and Sweetum's turn.
Cool. I need to make a roll to make sure that I hold on to the spell.
All right.
Nope, that's a fail. God damn it.
All right. Well, you no longer have the guy pinned to the ground with an arrow through his shoulder bent to your will.
Cool. That's
I guess
fine.
he'll escape. Is that it? Is that your action? Is maintaining the spell?
I think so.
Okay. Sweetums, do you do anything to the
I'm going to scream at this poor unfortunate one. Just be like, go away, baby bears.
Okay, so is this? I assume this you're trying to intimidate.
Yes.
Okay. Well, give me a strong roll with no modifier.
Okay. Yeah, I got it by 11.
Okay. So this last fairy takes off into the woods, and they are fast.
But does it have disadvantage on all of its checks?
No. That one's dead.
Oh, okay.
No, that one had a disadvantage on its check to stay alive, and it failed.
Cool.
And
That's
so,
my favorite answer ever. No. That one's dead.
I mean, I have them all clearly marked on which ones. So you have a fairy that has into the woods, and you still have one that is on the ground. He's cussing in what you would assume is Elvish. You can once again, Sweetums, you can kind of make out a word every now and again, and it's not pretty what he's saying. but yeah, that's now here's the last question. Is the bear smart enough to realize what y'all just did for it? The bear is really pissed off right now.
The bear made a deal, and the bear can't see that we're being nice to it. Oh,
I mean,
deal making bear.
can you speak bear?
Not very well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like the bear is still angry. I mean, it's still, you can, Sweetums, you can look. I mean, it still has like 3 or 4 arrows kind of sticking in it. So, you know, it looks like it's still in basically defense mode. So, how would y'all, we are not necessarily out of combat, but it's basically y'all and then the bear. So how do y'all want to resolve this bear issue?
Unjala's going to try to inherit more wounds from the bear. To kind of,
Okay.
hey, bro.
Are you staying up on top of the hillock, or are you coming down where the bear can see you?
I'm going to stay on top of the hillock and just try to make it feel better. So hopefully me inheriting some of its wounds will calm it the F down.
Okay. So go ahead and roll for that.
Okay. Excellent. And I healed 5 of its wounds, which knocks me unconscious.
Okay. So Unjala falls over as a couple more of the little arrows kind of pop out of the bear. And it once again, Sweetums, you see like a look of pure confusion. Like it looks down, it's like, and it drops down from its hind legs to all fours and just kind of licks at the last arrow and kind of nibbles at it and pull and snap. You're not sure if it snaps it off or pulls it out. But the bear itself like kind of just lets out like a huffing noise and turns around and starts walking back in its cave.
I'm gonna run over to Unjala and try to heal some of his wounds.
Okay.
If I can.
Yeah, I mean you run up to him and turn him over as he's kind of laying on his stomach. And he sure enough, he has like blood seeping through his cloth armor at the same spots as the arrows that popped out of the bear. These small little holes that have developed.
I believe I can. I need to succeed on a medicine.
Yeah, you need to do a medicus check.
Medicus check, which is what? Cunning, vigilant.
It's probably strength.
It is cunning. Yeah, well, no. Do you have novice or adept?
I'm just a novice.
Okay. Yeah, you can heal. Well, okay. You do know this. Do you? You do know that there are some herbs that you can gather up.
Okay.
If you want, and you can do a little bit more healing. It's a D4, but if you have like a herbal remedy, it'll do a D6.
Okay. Then yes, I'm going to try to do that real quick.
Okay.
If I can. Unless it seems like Injala's not like immediately dying, is he?
No, he's not immediately dying. But he's taken damage. He is unconscious, but his breathing is steady. But if he's not healed soonish, he might bleed out.
Okay, I'll try to grab something if I can see something. And yes.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Give me a quick cunning check at a +2 because there's a lot of wildlife around here.
Okay. I rolled a 4, so I'm good.
So you do manage to find some moss, some roots that you know that you can like mix up. Mama Banny taught you
poultice.
The healing ways. Yes, to make a poultice. You got to take it, squish it up, put it in your mouth, chew it up a bit, and shove that into the wound.
Yes. I found you some arnica and calendula.
Yeah.
All right, you get 3 back.
Excellent. Now let's say I have 4 hit points left, and I did that spell for 5. does the -1 count against the healing?
No, we're not.
Okay.
I'm not going to deal with that right now. You need all the help you can get.
Yeah. Gonzalo, like, kind of come to after the herbs have set in. Sweetums,
Mm-hmm.
in the order of things, thank you for healing me.
Of course. It was
To,
nice of you to help the bear.
Yeah, about that. I wouldn't normally have done that before I met you, so I'm kind of mad at you for having a positive effect on my life.
I'm just gonna play with your hair a bit and like have like, thumb on your temple and just say I'm so happy you're mad at me. Yep, exactly.
Can you try rubbing less harder? Make sure, like, I would like to be comfortable when I'm trying to heal, please.
Like more gently?
Yes.
Or
Like
rub it less often but harder. What?
The first one.
Oh,
Pretend like I'm a baby rabbit, please.
Okay, that'll be an easy thing to pretend.
Oh no.
What?
Oh, she's gonna
Like
let
a
you right
mice and
now.
men shit over here? No. Nope. Nope. Not about that. Not an accurate literary reference.
As Kiln is behind her with an arrow. I'm sorry. I feel I have to let everyone in on this joke. Specifically, Greg just typed, "Tell me about the rabbits in Jala."
Look over that way. Sweetums, can you see the farm?
See it.
Tell me about the rabbits. Did you see there?
It's so gentle.
Oh my god. All right. Whew.
It's
So
warm and sad.
There's a fairy pinned to the ground, like writhing in anger right now. As you're having this moment, it's trying to like get the arrow out of the ground or out of it, but it really can't because of just physics. I don't know. So how would y'all like to proceed?
Kiln is going to stay in the tree in the event that anybody comes back, because nobody knows at this point. He's pretty certain that nobody knows where those arrows came from, and one of them did flit off.
Yeah.
In the very off chance that they come back with like 20 of their buddies, he wants to be ready in the tree.
Okay. So the remaining three of you, what's y'all's next move here?
So the leader, Johnny's still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive. He's just
Okay.
kind of just like he's cussing an Elven. You're pretty sure. Yeah, it's he's pinned to the ground. Kiln's arrow is about halfway in him.
Okay. Nora's still pretending she doesn't know the people.
Nora's method.
She's gonna lean in and down to Johnny.
Uh-huh.
If you would like, I can see if I can speak with them. See if they can let you go.
My people kill them. Just help me leave. Help me escape. Come on. Get me out of here.
This sounds like a deal, fair folk.
Okay, you help me escape, and I'm your friend. Deal? And he kind of like holds a hand out.
How about this? You help me figure out what's going on with the lake out east, and I'll let you make sure that you stay alive.
I mean, of course, yes. We go east. That's where we go. We go east. Hurry before they come back.
Honora's making sure that the word Kiana and Honora's making sure the wording was right.
Yeah. Oh, this really hurts.
Don't like that.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Okay. She will extend her hand. You help me find out what's out east, and you'll stay alive.
Oh, yes, we go east. Hurry.
And she shakes on it, and then will.
Yes. And
Well,
you actually feel when you shake on this, since you made a deal with the fairy, like you shook on it and you feel that little knitting of magic between the two of you. And when you pull your hand away, you actually feel a small pull between him and yourself.
cool. She will pull out the arrow.
And he kind of, y'all hear a scream from the elf.
Y'all ain't that far away.
Yeah, you aren't that far away. Unjala and Sweetums, you are at the top of the hill. Killing, you're up on a tree near that. So you can see Anara pulling this arrow out, them talking. You couldn't make out what they were saying because they were kind of speaking in normal tones, adjacent. But yeah. Hurry, let's go. Please help. As he's starting to try to rise.
Just hold on a minute. And she'll turn and be like, all right. Are we all good now?
I mean, I'm in some pain, but I think if Sweetums can carry me and
You don't know
that's
pain.
made gently. Excuse me?
Sweetums, can you make sure that he doesn't bleed out?
I mean, I guess if you need me to.
We just need to keep him alive. It's what I made a deal on.
Oh, you know.
Oh, okay. Hi,
You
what's
said
your
you help me
name?
escape.
No, I said that you
What?
would stay alive.
Ooh. And you see him like working through the logic and remembering y'all's conversation. And originally, I think you did say you'd help him escape, but y'all
Yeah.
shook on him staying alive, and he realizes that. And he's just kind of like, and he just kind of, his teeth just kind of go together. And he's just like, and he just begins grunting. But
I'll take some more of the same herbs.
okay.
Help me out and say hi. I'm Sweetums. What's your name?
And he just kind of spits at you.
I don't think he's just gonna say to Unjal. I don't think that's his name. That's not a name. You can't. That's not language. I think he's being rude. Honora, do I have to help him even if he's being rude?
I believe just, again, keep him alive.
Okay.
He will help us.
Okay. Well,
And it looks like he's like trying to say something to the opposite of that, but he just can't.
I can make you feel better, little guy. I mean, there's no reason to be rude about it.
At this point, Kiln would walk up as Sweetums says, I can make you feel better. And Kiln would say, and I can make you feel worse.
Yeah, he can.
And
I
he
start
kinda
collecting my arrows out of the bodies of his friends.
Okay.
These are expensive.
And yeah, you collect the arrows out of the bodies of his friends. I will say you do notice like most of them do have arrows in their quivers still.
Okay. I mean, my arrows are like super duper long, but he'll take some of those because he might need to make another like boxing glove arrow or something like that.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, give me a vigilant.
Vigilant. I like the sound of that. Success.
Okay. Yeah, you have that thought, and then you start looking, and you actually notice like a couple of them have some specialty arrows kind of like yours. So, and you think you can use them. Maybe not as great of range because you can't have as much of a draw on it, but you do find a couple of what you call hammerhead arrows for stunning people. And there are a couple of like kind of Y split arrows that are used for like cutting ropes. Yeah. And
He
so
would grab, he'd grab one of the Y ones and not even looking, hold it over his shoulder towards Johnny Depp. This is proprietary. I mean, don't know where you got this.
Yeah. But other than that, you know, most of their arrows are pretty normal.
Yeah, he'll collect them.
Okay. So yeah, you got a few more arrows for that. And I mean, and like I said, you can use any of their arrows, just not as great of range. But they are still a fairy make.
Nice.
So you were collecting arrows from the fallen, Sweetums. Give me that roll on the healing there.
Okay, let me see. I failed the cunning roll.
Okay, I mean that just means yeah, you kind of smear some stuff on there, and he like sting, it's sting. And he just kind of like just looks at you with just hatred as it looks like you made his wound worse.
That's Sweetums is mortified. I'm so sorry. I've never tried to heal one of your kind before. I'm sorry.
And he looks around at all of his dead friends. He's like, "What? Shoo shoo.
Shoosh. Okay, fine. Sometimes people need time alone to calm down. I understand. Fine.
And he once again looks at all of his dead friends and looks back at you like, and you kind of see like a couple of tears in his eyes now as most of the bravado is like, it's just left him. He's just
And
kind of like,
Sweetum starts to cry. Also.
you mock.
Well, if we are done here, perhaps we can make our way.
This good fair folk said he'd help us. Go east, find out what's happening at the lake.
That's great news. Also, don't be a dick to this bear anymore.
It was deal.
Well, there's a new deal now. Could you speak bear? I don't even know how this deal was struck. That's very curious to me.
Yes, we speak language of the forest.
And
Human
so
cannot. Human can't.
Oh, okay. Don't be a dick.
Do bears eat fairies? As he's stacking them up, kind of like
if they can catch, they will. But
yeah, it's a circle of life here in Davika.
One quick question before we start migration. I've sensed a noticeable amount of corruption on you. What is it that you came in contact with that was able to manipulate your shadow in a negative manner?
And at that mention, he just kind of like looks at you and gets this like little gleam. Oh, you will see. You all will see. And like he breaks into like little fairy maniacal laughter.
So I assume this is all at the lake.
Yes, it is. It's
Yeah, like piecing together the maniacal laughter, you'll see soon enough the deal going there. Yeah.
You could tell us now and save yourself the trouble of lots of pain.
I said I would help and that you would keep me alive. I will help now. And I will leave. And I will be alive.
But we did not guarantee the state of alive in which you would be.
There is alive. There is alive, and then he kind of motions to his friends, and there is dead. I am alive. I will stay. I will tell you what you need to know. I said I would help. I am bound by my word. And it, like, all of this is like he's forcing this out. He does not want to be saying any of this to you. You can definitely tell that.
And you could make it a lot better for us by telling us what kind of thing we're going to be dealing with at the lake.
Oh, you shall see. More of my kind. You shall see. There is more. Go to the cave. You will find instructions there.
And the source of the corruption?
It is there. You will see.
I'd feel a lot better if I knew now from you telling me.
I have
And then
helped you.
and I expect that you will help more, because I do not think that you would like to be. And then he'll pause, and then he'll communicate telepathically to his brother. Dear brother, if you would be so kind as to escort Sweetums, perhaps to go to the bathroom a good 100 feet off.
Yeah, of course. And to accent what his brother is doing, he will pick up one of the corpses of the friends because he's stacking them up and kind of operate it kind of like a puppet. Can you believe that he's not going to help us? I can't believe either. And he puts it down, then goes over and grabs Sweetums and let's go this way, Sweetums. Perhaps there are truffles or something.
Oh, okay. That was okay. That was unusually macabre, but strangely entertaining. Let's go find the truffles.
Welcome raiders from apparently from Matt Colville. We're having some Symbaroum here where the party is torturing a fairy.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Not yet.
made a deal.
I made a fair deal with the fairy.
Made a fairy deal, and here we are. All right.
Now, you had discussed in your point of view that there's only alive or dead. Now, I can show you firsthand, but I would rather tell you the various states of alive that you can be, and most of them suck. So, if you could do me the honor of just sharing what we might be dealing with at the lake that has given you this much corruption, and I will stay out of your hair. I will be but a butterfly on your shoulder.
It is a place of sleeping of my kind.
Of sleeping?
They will protect it. Go to the cave. There is instructions there. Trust me.
And what will we expect in the cave? And he starts to begin the casting of tormenting spirits, so his hands start to glow, and ghosts kind of come out of the ether and start like swirling around his hands.
The cave just has instructions. You will see. You will see. It is a hidden way.
And now, excellent. And the source of your corruption?
It is from my older brothers. That is all I can say. Trust, please. And he's like starting to cry now, as like he's saying all this through gritted teeth, as if the magic of the deal is fighting against some compulsion. And he's literally like, you can hear his teeth like grinding, and you think you hear a crack as he's like trying with everything he can not to divulge this. It looks like it's actually causing him like physical agony. Please, I cannot tell you further. They will protect it.
Interesting. We will discuss this further along the way. But for now, you need to heal. And then he stops the spell and walks off.
And he manages to spit out a thank you. But he does not meet your gaze.
He'll walk up to Honora. Thank you for what you've done.
Of course.
Very cunning of you.
Well, it's about time that fair folk got a good taste for what it was like to be fucked over by a deal.
I like the way your brain works. Let us grab the others and head off to the lake then. If you
That
can
seems
get any
like-
more about the conversations about the cave and being protected and the place where the fairy folks sleep out of him in a polite manner, that information will be greatly useful.
As long as we keep him alive, up until that point.
I do not think that will be difficult.
We'll just have Sweetum hold him.
Then who's going to carry me?
Why? Doesn't he have 2 arms?
Yes.
And if you're right next to him, you can't avoid the questions.
Ooh. Astute.
Right.
And then he'll telepathically communicate with his brother Kiln.
It is safe to
Yes.
bring Sweetums back now. Thank you.
Fantastic. Oh, very well. I'm on my way.
And by the way, if I could request character art, I would like to have Sweetums, like, and I don't mean it this way, but I'm going to say it this way because it's funny. Heavy petting the fairy, like on the head.
Tell me about
I will love him and kiss him and name him. Yeah, yeah. You, Sweetums, you're petting the fairy. He does not seem happy, but he quickly falls asleep from his wounds.
Oh, it's Sweetums thinks that it's from his tender touch. God, he just needed a rest.
Okay. So y'all continue trotting the trails and footpaths east towards the lake.
Yes, I'm totally making a baby papoose for this fairy though. I'm tying him up in a sling.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of
Carry
his
him to my chest.
friends had cloaks that you could definitely kind of tie together.
Yep.
Okay.
That's my function in this game, is to hold people like babies.
Well, when you're playing a 8-foot tall ogre,
It's true.
that's what you do. All right. So it is uneventful for the next day's travel. Killen, you'll arrive sometime at close to dusk before the sun begins to set. So there's still going to be some light when you reach the lake. Do y'all want to go ahead and try to find this cave before the sun sets, or would you like to wait until dawn?
Yeah, I don't. As a party, I don't feel we have any pressing time constraints. The only thing is making sure somebody has eyes on the ferry at night so it doesn't run off.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would also give you a little bit extra time to heal.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Pruitt, would there be any way to kind of judge during the course of the travel where if it looks like that we're making, I don't want to say too good of time, if we could pause and kind of hold back a bit and do a slower trek like the day prior, camping as far away from the lake as we can, to arrive there with like in an hour or two with daylight to spare?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm asking. Do you want to kind of slow roll it and wait till dawn to move down, or try to press yourself? So sounds like y'all want to maybe wait the evening.
Yeah, if we're not going to sneak, I'd say we wait till the dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, might as well get a bit more information out of this fairy
Okay.
before we inevitably part ways.
All right. So y'all decide to make camp. Who is keeping watch, and who's gonna chat with the fairy?
Umjala will take the first watch.
Okay. Do y'all have any specific questions for the fairy, or are you just general inquiry?
I mean, I'm not sure how much he's going to consider help as part of this deal, but if we could get numbers and we could get movements, where they would be at a specific time of day, that would be the best. But I'm saying this all as Greg, because Kiln cannot ask these questions, as Kiln cannot ask anything that requires a roll. So Greg is simply saying, now I maybe, as much as we can learn about what we're going to face in the dawn, while Kiln just broods.
Okay. Sits at the edge of the firelight smoking his pipe. So, the remaining members, would y'all do y'all have anything specific y'all'd like to ask this fairy to see if he'll say anything else? And since Kellen, you're on the edge right now, give me a vigilant at -5, since it is nighttime. The woods are alive with action and motion of all the nocturnal animals. So
can I take it at a -4 because of my shadow sense? That would give me the +1. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But what are y'all asking?
Failure.
Okay. Anything?
Unjala's very curious, but he's still not trying to press the matter since he came off intimidating. So he's not going to be particularly too receptive to some schmoozing, especially with a mug like this.
You don't say.
So I'm going to be observant. So if anyone else wants to ask Johnny these questions, he will pay attention. But he's playing bad cop.
Oh, cool. Anora's weirdly good cop in this situation, I guess.
Yeah, that is
that feels wrong. Yeah, I guess Anora will ask the questions.
Okay. What are you trying to get from him?
I guess generally speaking, things to be aware, like things to watch out for, when going in, and just more questions about what the fuck's going on here, because he gave answers, but not in the direct. This is what's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Very much. You will go here and find the answers. So.
Yeah, you can tell he is fighting some kind of compulsion, and he's trying to give answers that meet your deal, but that don't completely give the game away, because you can tell it, like I said, you can tell it causes him like physical harm as he's just kind of through gritted teeth, like, my kind, my older brothers and sisters, they guard the place. It is where we change seasons, he finally says.
Oh. Change seasons. Interesting. Powerful magics, I assume, then?
Yes. There are many magics there. The eldest, they look for something.
Oh?
And they don't want you to meddle.
Of course. Would you happen to say that a certain priest meddled recently?
The sun priests. They came. Look what happened to them. They all died. Just like you will.
Oh, isn't that unfortunate? Well, will we all die because of your siblings, or are we all going to die because of something else that's there? The magic's assuming living traps or the such.
You really want to know how you'll die? I'll tell you.
Why not? Interesting information.
I hope you get to see it. It is glorious. It is life itself. It is. And at that moment, Kiln, you hear it. You hear the fwang of a bow. And there's a whistle of an arrow that. And Johnny pitches forward as a tiny little fairy arrow finds his neck right in mid-sentence. And he falls forward, dead as a doornail.
Oh, well, I guess that saves us the trouble. I guess we can find out now.
Right. Suppose we should be careful.
Can
And then-
I see anything from the trajectory that the arrow came in at? Like
You
following
can-
that line?
I'll say you can give me another vigilant. This is only going to be at a -3 because you do now have like at least a line to follow back, but it's still, it's middle of the night.
Okay. Damn, same roll. Another failure.
Yeah, you think you see some bushes moving, but you thought you heard the pitter patter of little feet moving away, but now all is quiet. And briefly, the nightlife kind of stopped for a split second, and then, much like at a cantina, all the animals go back to doing what they were doing, and it picks back up.
If I was on watch, could I have rolled a vigilant check?
Yeah, I mean,
determine
you
the
can give me a
presence?
vigilant check to try to see if you can notice it.
Would I have been able to detect this person's presence before that happened? Before the arrow happened?
I mean, yes, but I thought you were in the conversation. That's why I didn't call.
My purpose was to be on watch, but overhearing the conversation.
Okay.
Obviously it happened already, but not a huge deal.
Well,
But
I'll tell you what. Give me a vigilant check to see if you can maybe follow where it came from.
that is a success.
And that is at a -4.
Oh well.
Because it is the middle of the night, but I'm
Correct.
giving you a little less steep since you do have the trajectory of the arrow to kind of backtrack.
Vigilant 15 rolled a 9.
Okay, so yes, you definitely see a small. It's not as small as these fairies. You're pretty sure that this is an elfling, or what would be a summer elf. And this elfling just darts into the darkness due east, away from where y'all have set up camp.
He'll cue to his brother first. The arrow came due east. I saw a glint from whence it came.
Then he would take off, and without waiting for a visual reference, he would just say in his mind, "Guide me," as he's rushing into the woods.
All right, and then so he's going to kind of use telepathy to steer him to where the arrow was coming.
Okay.
And just be careful. We don't
right.
know how many.
Greg, as you kind of move into the darkness, I will give you another vigilant roll in order to try to pick up the trail of this elfling. This is only going to be at a -2.
Success.
Okay, you definitely catch a quick glance at the ground where some moonlight has made its way through, and you definitely see a footprint of something small, smaller than you, running due east. And as you look up, you can kind of see branches moving as something has just passed through. So you have picked up its trail. It is moving very fast, though, and through the night, as if it can see just fine.
He's not going to chase it in there by himself because
Mhm.
that would be a fool's errand. But what he'd like to do is pull out one of those Y-shaped arrows he just took off of the ferry patrol, and he's going to get low to the ground for as far ahead of him as he can, and about ankle level, and fire to see if there are any tripwires that would have been in his way, any lead lines, any traps, to
Mhm.
see if he hears the twang of, drawn silver string across the trail, and see if this is more of a plan than anything
Mhm.
else.
Okay. I'll say this: you don't need to do a roll. You take your aim and you shoot, and sure enough, you're pretty sure you hear the flick, flick of 2 tripwires that were about 30 feet in front of you, and right where, if you would have followed right where you saw the branches kind of rustling, where it looked like somebody had just gone through them. If you would have followed that, you're not sure what would have happened, but you definitely hear the twang of at least 2 tripwires in that path.
He would retreat immediately to his friends to let him know that this was, in all likelihood, an assassination, but they were also planned for pursuit.
Mhm.
So he's going to make his way back quickly.
I suppose since this fairy has been gifted death, we can now find out more information if we would like to devote some time.
I suppose so, though I imagine we want to be out of the way of potential fire.
And there are ears all around and eyes all around.
In the dark, even.
Wow, how I feel like I've heard that before. I don't know where.
I apologize. I don't, though. Not at all. Never will.
I was going to say, you're not sorry at all.
We can wake Sweetums, and if he can stand guard or stand watch while we conduct the ritual, perhaps it could be of some aid. But the questions need to be yes or no questions, and I do not think we have that much information yet. There's a large source of corruption coming from the lake. There's a way that we can understand by going into said cave, which
has magics that changes the seasons. It is an object, assumably, considering that he mentioned something about regarding it, beholding its glory.
Tell you what, y'all give me a cunning check.
A success with a 2.
success by 1.
So, Honora, after mulling over a little bit, like, you do recall reading somewhere about elves and that their cycles, and that they go from these tiny little fairies, and those are sometimes called spring elves, to elflings, which are summer elves, to autumn elves, which are like full elves, right? And so scholars do not know like how they transition, but just know that they're this size, and then that some process happens, and then they become a little bit bigger, and they learn some more skills, and that's kind of their life cycle over the centuries. And so, just something about what he said about when we change seasons, like, really sticks out, and like that piece of information kind of rings loudest in your mind.
Oh. I don't think they're talking about literal seasons here.
Huh?
I might have a question or so for a dearly departed friend here, but it's quite possible that this place whatever it is, houses the ability for them to grow and change from that and point to the dead body of Johnny to a full elf.
Interesting.
Might
And
as
so they
well
must assume that we're going to jeopardize all of that by our mere presence.
would assume why they keep it so well guarded. I mean, you heard him that the priest, including the one that the changeling was pretending to be, ended up dying because of it.
Well, I will get the ritual ready if you would like to prepare your questions.
All right.
Okay. So go ahead and give me that roll for the ritual.
That is a very good. So with communicating with spirits, it is a 17. I rolled a 2.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I mean, y'all have seen this before. As Unjala goes through his motions, the body of the dead fairy you see it kind of shudder and then push itself up and sit down in like a sitting position, and its head would loll over, but it kind of gets caught on the arrow that's stuck in its neck, so it kind of keeps its head like propped up a little bit, and its dead eyes are looking around at you.
Well, hello then. Let's just get right to it. Is this a place where you elves grow between seasons, spring out to summer to fall?
Yes.
Oh, good. Now, is this thing an object?
No.
Oh, interesting. Will directly coming into contact with this thing kill us?
No.
He's going to telepathically send a message to his brother while he's focusing on the ritual. Ask if there is a source of corruption at this location.
Is there a source of corruption at this location?
Before he answers, you see his kind of lips go up into what looks like a snarl almost, and he spits out, "Yes."
Is it directly connected to the thing that allows you to change between seasons?
No.
Okay. How many of you? Oh, nope. Yes, no questions.
Are you working with the cause of the corruption?
No. And he kind of, again, he spits this out. No.
Is it controlling you?
No.
I feel fine about killing all of you then.
He telepathically sends to his brother, ask if it's possible to remove the corruption from this place.
Is it possible to remove the corruption from this place?
Yes.
Again, he cues, if we move the corruption from this place, will you guide us through?
If we remove the corruption from this place, will you guide us through?
No.
Anybody? Anybody?
Mm,
And Unjala, you can feel the magic kind of beginning
Yeah.
to fade. So you have one more question that you can ask of this thing before it looks like his spirit wants to go ahead and pass on.
PQ Swiss brother. Can we talk to a leader of your people to help remove the corruption from this place?
He would send back to his brother. I was going to ask the same thing. Are they going to attack us as soon as we get there, or is there a possibility of parlay?
I'll give you a little freedom with the word choice.
Okay. He would pull Honora off to the side and be like, I was going to, Unjala and I would like to see if there's a chance to talk to his people or if it's just going to be a fight from the jump. Can you figure out a better way to say that combines our two varying approaches to the same question? I'm afraid I'll muck it up.
yeah.
And
Okay.
then still struggling with the ritual, Njala, you hear like a physically out of his mouth, hurry.
Is there a chance for things to come to conflict if we enter?
You've never seen a dead person strike a pensive pose, but it's like as if it's never considered this. Like, and against all laws of nature, as Unjala knows it, it says maybe, and then like falls over dead.
Cool.
Like it thought like it had never thought of that question or answer before, but was genuinely taken aback.
Amazing. Well, that puts some things into perspective here. We've got two sources of power. One that is corruption. One that is the changer of seasons.
Well, I feel that this may not bode well for our safety, but we're really effective at killing people and finding out the information we want afterwards.
We're aces at that.
So good, guys. We are on top of it.
Fucking SWAT team.
We're like the Last Dance documentary of killing people and then asking them questions.
Which one of you is Scottie Pippen? Who's Steve Kerr?
Steve, who is Steve? Who's a bitter Bill Lambier?
I'm Mark Price.
I nominate Kiln for the Steve Kerr role, like hitting those bombs from far away beyond the arc. Come on.
And by now I just like, what?
No
Or
idea.
Bill Paxton,
Bill
Like
Paxton.
Paxton.
the token
Bill Pullman.
3-point shooter that the Bulls always had.
Oh, you're talking about sports.
We're
Okay.
talking about sports ball.
And
Okay.
Also, wear of the beautiful short shorts.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Ooh.
All right. So, would y'all like to discuss further, or shall we skip to the dawn?
We should rest and heal up and
Mhm.
form a plan in the morn.
Okay.
Yeah.
So go ahead and do your restful healings, whatever that might be. And the sun rises, but it is for spring. It is a cold and foggy morning. The sun has a time trying to break through the cloud cover, for which there was none all night. You could see the stars all night, but with the coming dawn, a storm and a fog have rolled in, and y'all now can head east. How would y'all like to go about this?
Hmm.
I feel like.
Sweetums.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sweetums wakes up to find the corpse of Johnny.
Yeah, you do. Nobody said they did anything with it, so it is still sitting there, kind of off to the side from the campfire, slumped
Yes.
over,
Yeah.
taking a big
Somebody-
sleep.
Somebody else shot him. To be clear, Sweetums.
Good. I thought maybe it was my healing did something to him.
No, you would have made it had it not been for an assassin.
I was almost said I'm glad somebody murdered him, but that's not that's not right.
Sweetums. Oh, Sweetums.
That's not
You've
right.
been hanging around these people too long.
It's true. It's true. It's been like two or 3 days, and it's been too long. Okay, yes. So Sweetums wakes up to find, and he's going to make breakfast as the adults discuss the real problems.
Okay.
Killen's gonna hang out with Sweetums because Killen's here for violence or sneaking. If it's talking, he'll defer to the mines for that, but he just can't be the one doing that part of it. I'll be over here.
On Johnny's corpse, is there any sort of like pass or key or any sort of thing, a shovel to help us bury him?
No shovels. He has a very fine dagger. Unless y'all grabbed his bow, it's still back where you left it. Some arrows. He does have a few rings on his fingers, gold and silver. But other than that, you don't find anything that would be like a pass. You don't find any markings like tattoos or anything like that.
Okay, well, stuff's doing no good on him when he's dead. So,
yeah, the rings can fit like on the first knuckle of your pinkies.
Or you can make a necklace if you take a string and put it through all.
I don't know why I said it like that. He's going to take all those and the knife. I wanted to present these to the group before perhaps we buried Johnny. If we would like to bury Johnny. I'm unfamiliar with fairy customs.
Who's Johnny? He said. I'm sorry.
I feel like there's a good enough plan for this part. Though I suppose it's up to the next part we have to figure out. Are we going to approach sneakily, or are we going to go announcing our presence? And then from there, are we going to try to attempt parlay right away? Or are we just going to go in, or rather, Kiln will stay behind and shoot?
I'm also very sneaky.
You are also very sneaky.
Feel like we should attempt the sneak, and if we get stopped, we give them the exclusive benefit of helping with the corruption in the town, as only we can perhaps do.
Of course, this does bring up a assumption that they want to remove the corruption.
Well, perhaps if they do not everyone in the town feels the same way, and we can perchance capitalize off the strife that provides. Launching the first arrow to see which way they move.
I suppose that's fair enough. I'm interested to see what exactly this is that's causing this corruption. And for a bonus, maybe seeing what is that season changer. But I'm sure that's kept under quite some lock and key.
As perhaps only an elf might know. But as my experience goes with various closed tribes and whatnot, if you endear yourselves to them, all of their knowledge can be yours, depending on the cards you play.
Fair enough.
So, I agree that we should sneak for our own safety, but if stopped, attempt to parley. Attempt to barter in services, perhaps.
To
Well-
be clear, sorry.
Well, we know that someone knew he was sharing something he shouldn't have.
To the community's benefit. Or if we can remove the corruption, will they not be better for it?
Nora has thoughts. She's not going to say them.
To be clear, if we sneak into this area and then are discovered and then go to parlay, it is the same as somebody in civilization finding a strange humanoid in their house in the middle of the night, and that human then saying, "I can help you with your rat problem." It doesn't seem very genuine.
Then maybe not sneak. Maybe brazenly walking into their home and doing the same thing.
I'm a lot better at that.
Brazenly walking to the entrance and knocking on it. I think is the fairer way of going about it.
I will defer to your judgment on that.
I'm feeling strange, brother. I would just like to say that I don't know what it is, but maybe the truth would actually serve us best in this circumstance. We know about your problem. We are here to help with it. We are also here for purposes of our own, but they are at cross. The purposes collide. If we try to sneak and get caught, we're sure to die.
He's,
At least one of us.
Ujala smiles. And you say you're only good at sneaking and killing. That's pretty good.
I like to live. Big fan of living.
No.
If no one objects, that seems like the best course of action.
And I'm sure with Sweetums will make a great announcement of our arrival.
Do you want me to? I can do that.
No, I'm just... Oh, Sweetums. I'm just saying that it's very hard to not notice the 8-foot ogre walking up to your front door.
It's true. It's true. It's happened to me many times before. Yeah. Okay. But I can. Sweetums is going to start writing an announcement in his head. He's going to start speech writing.
Sweet Bab.
It's going to happen. Yep.
Okay. So y'all head out without subterfuge towards the lake?
Correct.
Okay. It like Kiln said, he pretty much gauged it just short of an hour. You crest a hill and you can see the river that you could have taken kind of feeding into the lake on the south side of it. All along the western shore and the south shore on either side of the river, there are these white blossom cherry trees that run all the way around the western to the southern part of this. And then the lake itself on its eastern shore kind of butts up into the Ravens, the mountain range to the east. And you can see, various breaks in the mountainside itself, any of which could house this cave that they keep speaking of. But yes, this is the scene you see as you kind of crest the last rise. As you see this nice, calm, serene lake, there are lily pads at various spots near the shoreline, a cluster near the middle. And as the sun rises, with the fog hanging over the lake, it's actually a quite stunning image as the sun begins to kind of break through the ravens and the cloud cover itself. And that is the scene that you see. Where would you like to head?
Pruitt, with the cherry blossoms kind of flanking the one border of the lake.
Mhm.
Kiln would like to look. Does it look as if like one section of the lake has like full greenery, one section has like autumnal colors? Is there like one section is like leafless, as if the seasons are being represented in both the foliage, and like he would look at the lake itself too? Is there lily pads present in one? Is it, just clear, or tadpoles apparent in one area, indicating a different passage of a seasonal type of passage?
Mhm.
Is that indicated or not?
You see on the northern shore, there are more autumnal colors, for sure. On this western and kind of southern border, there are these cherry trees kind of almost right up to the shoreline of the lake itself, which is it's kind of odd. The eastern border doesn't have really any foliage whatsoever, as it kind of, there's a small narrow band of shoreline, and then the ravens kind of butt right into it, as they're like kind of right next to each other.
He'd point that out quickly. Perhaps an indication of the seasons, as he points to the different places.
Perhaps. He spoke of the eldest, which I assume are the autumn elves.
He would point to the autumnal colors. Maybe.
Suppose there's no greeting party here.
Y'all
None
don't
that we
see
can
anything.
see.
Just so you do not see anything. As where you are coming on, you're at the kind of the south end of this lake. So if you wanted to walk to the northern shore, that would take another like day and a half. By noon, you could cross the river. It doesn't look that deep, and be on the eastern shore of the lake, near where the mountains are. You could do that like by noon ish. But that is entirely up to y'all.
I think that's kind of where Honora is leaning towards. I mean, they're gonna have to step in and announce at some point. It might as well be in that direction. That's my thoughts. I don't know what the rest of y'all think.
I agree.
Also agree.
So you're swinging around the south end of the lake? Just want to make sure I know.
Yes.
Yeah, because you are basically like coming up on the lake at the southwest, at about 7:00, if the lake was a clock face, right?
Yep.
Okay, so y'all move down to the lake and kind of around the south bend, and like I said, where it kind of flows into the river that goes south and then west, you can find a place to cross, especially with Sweetums there. It's not too deep. Certainly Sweetums can just walk across it. At most, it gets about 7 feet deep. But you're able to ford the river without breaking a wagon wheel or someone's leg, and you don't lose any of your supplies. So as you move across the river, you're coming up on the mountains, the ravens themselves, and they are sheer and they are severe, and it's almost like coming out of this lake. You just like look up, and it's like being in New York City, where there's just these massive structures right next to you. Kiln, will you give me a vigilant roll with no
Sure.
modifier?
Oh, good. I sure can. Oh, shit. A failure with a 20.
You rolled a 20.
I did.
Yeah, Kiln, you are looking around here and you don't see any sign of a trail. It doesn't look like there's anything at all. Like no caves, no, the rocks, the mountains themselves right here. They're kind of craggy, and there's some splits in the rock, but you don't see nothing.
Fantastic.
Anyone else can give me a vigilant if they'd like. I mean,
Does this have anything to do with not yeah, you can't give anything away here, but is there any way that I this has something to do with a beast? Because I can use my cunning instead. I've already rolled though, so I can just going forward, maybe it's something that I can.
Yeah. I mean, there are beasts around here, but nothing that stands out to you in your
Okay.
mind. That would be
Unjala rolled a 3
I got
on the
5.
vigilant.
okay. Y'all see a couple of places where it looks like there are these small like cracks and crevices where a cave might be. You see a couple of them, so you'd have to do a little bit of investigating throughout the day, if that's what you'd like to do.
Yeah, I will do a little bit of investigating throughout the day to see what I can discern
Okay.
in regards to the best way to traverse this mess.
Yeah. So it takes you a while, but what you actually see is one of you about, I don't know, mid-afternoon, you actually find a broken arrow haft, and it's of human make. And you do remember that there was a battle here where the priests fought some people, and so that's more of the key that you're like, oh shit, we might be on the right trail here. And sure enough, you come around a corner, and it's one of those things where it's like an optical illusion almost, where Killen, you were looking right at it, but you have to be like over here instead of over here to actually see the cave entrance. Otherwise, it looks like a sheer surface. And sure enough, you find a way up a foot trail here at switches back once or twice, and then you see definitely a cave entrance.
Excellent. I'll communicate that to the group if they're with me.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I assume y'all are at least
Yeah.
within shouting range.
And then he'll give like utter perfect detail telepathically to Kiln.
Mm-hmm.
Kiln will pretend like he saw it the entire time, even though he was like 1 foot away from having that line of sight.
Yep.
And as soon as he moves, he's been looking to the left the whole time and just looks to the right and is like, oh shit. Okay, yes, yep. And there it is.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And actually, once you start walking it, you actually can see that this path has been trod, and you see footsteps going both ways, in kind of equal numbers. And y'all begin trotting up the path. It's not that far. It's just one of those things where you kind of have to walk around some crags, and then you finally get to this cave that is due east from the lake itself. And it is a kind of a triangular entrance. It's just kind of like a rend in the rock, but darkness lies beyond. So how do you proceed?
Hopefully that 20's out of the way. I could scout ahead.
I could be not far behind you with witch sight, trying to determine where the corruption lies.
Okay. So, Kiln, you move forward. Are you sneaking, or you just?
I'm super sneaking. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm super sneaking. Because if I'm going by myself, I'm
Okay.
gonna sneak in.
Give me a discreet roll.
Okay. And I get +2 on this. Success.
Success.
10.
Okay. Yeah. You like a ghost. You enter the cave entrance. Light filters in from outside as the sun begins to rise and the clouds are beginning to part. Actually, hang on. Yes, actually, the clouds completely part and just open up to the day. And Kiln, you move in and you're struck by the oddest thing. You move about 10 feet into the cave and it just stops. It's literally 10 feet in and it's a dead end. And you see in very ancient writing something written vertically down. And you've seen these runes before. These are ancient sigils from scholars think from Symbaroum people that lived here prior to the elves. But there's something written on this in a language that you cannot make out.
He would immediately convey this to his brother. This is beyond me. And just check for traps and everything, and then go back and bring everybody else forward if possible.
You give me a quick vigilant.
I don't like that you said that. Success with a 7.
You don't find any traps, but what you do see, you look down and there's enough light filtering in where you see like a majority of the footsteps walk right up to here and then turn around and walk away. And that's just something you notice as your brother approaches. Now you said you had which side up, right?
I will. I have to roll. I have to roll.
Give me a roll.
To resolute. I fail with a 20.
Okay, so you look at this writing, and it is searing agony as you look at it. It looks like it's written magically. And Unjala, you drop to the ground screaming as your eyes are like, Kiln, you almost think you see smoke kind of wafting out from his eyes. And you have kind of sunspots in your vision, Unjala, but you recover shortly thereafter.
Yeah, Kiln would be like dragging his brother out of there, thinking that there's something with the symbols, with his sight, and just trying to get him out of sight of the symbols. So,
okay. Does anyone else try to read the writing?
I mean, sure.
All right. Honora, you, as Unjala's being drug out, kind of, covering his face, eyes smoldering, literally. You give me that roll, because you have which side as well, correct?
I do not, actually.
Oh. I thought you had like a magical sight or something.
Be nice if Viltrani loaded for me again. I do not believe I do.
Okay.
I'm just very knowledgeable about this shit.
Okay, well then give me a cunning roll.
Okay.
It's going to be at a -3.
Cool. Nope, that's a fail.
Okay.
We're doing great, guys.
Yeah, you're doing great. You can make out a couple of words. Something about walking the path and not drowning. But it doesn't really make sense.
Do the footprints leaving go to the water's edge?
You do notice that there is a footpath that has, yes, some tracks.
Are there any ones that are fresh enough that seem to be going into like the soft earth, mud, sand around the lake? Between two seasons or something like that? Like between two of the...
You do see, it looks like there are some footprints that kind of go down to the water's edge. You want to give me a quick vigilant?
Sure. Success with a 6.
Okay. So you walk down to the water's edge, seeing these footprints. And as you get to the edge, the sunlight glints off of something just under the surface of the water. Looks like it's made of glass or something other, maybe brushed steel. It just kind of glints, but you definitely see what looks like a path just under the still water, about 10 inches wide, not even a foot wide, but it leads out into the lake. And as your eyes follow that up, the shine of the sunlight kind of follows with you. And sure enough, about 50 feet out into the water, you can see what looks like a small cylindrical hole that, once again, it's amidst like some lily pads, and you'd never be able to see it except for standing right here. And you definitely see an entrance that goes straight down in the lake. And that is where we're going to leave off for this evening.
Well, shit.
All right, everyone. I hope you had a good time. Once again, thank you for the raid earlier from the Colville crew. We appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed our fun little dark fantasy with way too much Heart of Gold. So we're gonna go around in reverse order. The guy at the lake's edge right now, Greg. What's going on? What do you think? What's going on?
I can't wait. This is my favorite part so far. Just the history of Symbaroum and everything. Great job, Pruitt. I loved it. Grimjack21502 on the Twitter, Tales from the Grim on the Twitch. Join me over there, but join me next Tuesday for some more Symbaroum right here on WebDM. Back at you, Pruitt.
Thank you, brother. Emma, how are you doing over there? How was that?
It was great fun. It was a good one to be a useless baby in, and I failed at almost everything I did, and it was super fun despite that. And I did help Billy. I did help Unjala not die. I did do that. Hooray! I'm
Scared the shit out of
Emma.
that one fairy.
Yes, I'm the comms director for WebDM. I'm better with the righty right than the talky talk. You should you should check us out tomorrow. We have a video about making your world seem real. And also I'm on a podcast with it's a Good Society podcast called The Fairest of the Seasons. And Grant, our producer, beats me up and I take it like a man.
Oh.
And you should you should listen to it. That's it. Thank you.
Awesome. Billy.
Hey.
Captain Talking to Dead People.
Well, you got to be good at something because you can be bad at everything else. Yeah, this was awesome. It was like sinking my teeth into this one. This was great. Pruitt, great job. Cast, great work. Kiana, Honora, and Unjala had some really fun, cool conversations about maybe torture, maybe magic.
It's just questioning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all it is. You can find me at Bill of the Forest on the Twitter. I'll be here next Tuesday, same bat time, same bat channel for Symbaroum. And then if you guys like yourselves some Witcher, Greg on Tales from the Grim is DMing a magnificent Witcher game in which I am Wim, a Witcher from Gehaso. And that's a heck of a lot of fun, but I'm really looking forward to this game next week where we can see what this is all about.
Yes, most definitely. And rounding out the crew here, Kiana, how you doing?
I've been good. This was a lot of fun. It is hard to play Honora because she is smart and cunning and really power hungry. And at Tuesday nights, I am not always 100% in the mindset. But she managed to screw over a fairy, which was awesome. I've always wanted to try to turn a deal on a fae, so that was cool.
That was clever as hell. It was great with the wording switch right at the last second.
I mean, he was bleeding out.
Uh-huh.
What a better time to do that. But yeah, super excited for next week. But until then, y'all can find me over on Twitter at KennaS. Best way to figure out what I'm doing. Totally the internet. So it's role-playing things, whether it's streaming, writing, just generally shouting to the void as most of us are. I am on Gilding Light on Fridays with a Cypher campaign called Zyra. And I'm also on my own channel, Salted Sweet Games, on the weekends and on Monday nights. So if you like more content like that, come check me out. But otherwise, this is great. This is an awesome time. We're totally going to be fine next week. It's cool.
I'm sure. What could go wrong? Yes. So tune in next week for the finale as the crew descends into Lake Laogai and sees what's going on underneath the waves. And I hope you enjoyed it. We're about to go raid a very good friend of mine. Played a game with her earlier today, Lindy, over at her channel. She's an amazing player. So everybody hang around, stick around, might as well keep the continuation going and all the love. I hope everybody is staying safe out there. Please stay safe. Wash your hands, wear a mask. We can get through this together. I love all y'all. Come back for the finale next week. And as we always say, may the dice ever roll in your favor.